Hi, this is a Creative Kingdom AB. Please, if today is your first time of coming across this channel, please do not hesitate to subscribe. Press the notification bell so that whenever I drop any update, you'll be the first to be notified. You are highly welcome once again. Guys, let's dive into the reason why we are here. No time to check time. 10 reasons. My 10 reasons why it's not good to claim in a nation like Nigeria that they are forgiving those that honor life, the innocent citizens. My 10 reasons are this. First, I want us to understand that character can never change. Why attitude is what change. Someone can possibly say, when you hear someone say he have changed, that is attitude, is not his character. How will you know that those that honor life, the innocent citizens in Nigeria, those are their character? They grew up with it. Imagine the teenager, the toddlers we saw parading on video here and there. How this ungodly species are manipulating the mind of the children, all in the name of religion, contaminating the minds of the children. For those children to grow up to come and becoming a terror, grow up to come and becoming a criminal, a rapist, continue to cause nightmare in a nation. Those children are definitely going to grow up with it. Now, what is character? Let us get this clear. What is character? Character is a kind of person you are inside. The kind of person you are inside, you grew up with it. This is your NG, is who you are. It's not where be somebody teach him, and no, this one you grew up with it. This is a character. I don't know if you guys are seeing me clearly. So character is who you are inside, who that person actually are. So character is who you are inside. You grew up with it. It's not becoming who is now who you are. So that is character. It's like 26 alphabets. Alphabet is alphabet in China. Alphabet is alphabet in Europe. Is alphabet in Asia, in Africa, in America. Alphabet. Only the difference is that they will use their language to continue to call the letters in order for them to understand it, but it is alphabet. It is alphabet. So when you can translate it to English, we say it will give you the same. It is universal. So that is the truth about that person. When the person, who that person are inside, that is a character. So character is a person who you are inside. The person you are inside is your character. That is what shows you. That is what your value, your behavior, how you act. So that is because everything in life have positive and negative, whether it's a bad one or good one. So if it's a good value you grew up with, that is who you are inside. If it's a bad input, that core value in you is bad, that you grew up with this bad core value, that is who you are inside. It's like a core value. This is a perfect example. A core value of a pineapple. It is what that pineapple is. So now, what is habit. A habit is something you attain, you learn. Something that you do again and again, it will not becoming an habit. For example, like a smoker. Somebody that smoke cigarettes, he smoke and he smoke again and again repeatedly. It will not turn habits. It will not becoming an habit. That is the difference between the character and habits are two different things. Are two different things. So always without thinking is a repeated action. Is what you do without thinking. Repeated action, repeated behavior. It will not becoming an habit. But character is what you grew up with. So these are my reasons why it's not good for the Nigerian government to come up with an idea to forgive whosoever that unalive the lives of the innocent. They want anyone to say he forgive. If you are there, if it is genuine, you will have also be forgiven Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because it is not universal correct. That is why you see they are Buhari Muhammad, the previous government, he take an he demonstrates an idea like that. You can see how he attracted calamity to the nation, because it is not godly. How can you possibly say you forgiving? There is a prodigal son. You are forgiving a terror that unalive the lives of the innocent. You call it repented this, repented that. That is on God. That is not the word. That is not the will of God. Justice. So the innocent people that they have put in that calamity, how are you putting justice to that? So it is only God who have the right to forgive, who have the power to forgive. When it now comes to Prince sanity, to eradicate nonsense out of a nation, to sanitize a nation, the constitution, law of the nation is what people, is not supposed to be violated, irrespective of your political affiliation, your religion, whatever. You see? So now these are the 10 reasons why character cannot change. It's very simple. The reasons why character cannot change. Somebody grew up with this thing. So number one, the reason why it is danger to a nation, to the peace of the nation, and it can reduce it can destroy nation, and it can destroy the good value of the nation. When you continue to he said, look at Bart Easton. He said it's only a madman that will keep on repeating one thing and be expecting different results. He said it's only a madman. And I believe we are not, if maybe at some point we lost it, I believe we're supposed to outgrow that kind of behavior. My reasons number one is this. Character, it starts from childhood. It's not what you can just possibly jump into that person's life. Somebody that know how to unalive the lives of the innocent. It takes joy taking the lives of the innocent. That is who that person are. So this is my reason. The reason number one is that this character is what starts from that person's childhood, or God. From that person's childhood, that person upbringing. If fish don't, they say if fish don't dry, you know if you break her, if you straighten. If you tend to straighten that fish, it will break. So you cannot possibly jump into anyone's life that grew up to unalive the lives of the innocents, that find joy in kidnapping and call it his business. You cannot claim that you are forgiving that person, that which you know that person, you are not giving a trial to that person. That person is not facing no justice for the lives, no justice in the nation. Eh? Well, this person, people that you say is it has repented, you gave them see, and you say you rehabilitate them. Now they are not fine. You put them into the society. How, or God? How are that going to save? How are that going to bring sane society? So the reason is so very clear. The reason number one, character cannot change. That you claim you want to forgive. That is why at some point I also believe that Putin is better off it's in this area on how to deal with and filter out the bad egg from the nation, to sanitize the nation. He said that it's up to God to forgive anyone that any terror in the land, and it's up to him to send them to God. Anyone that are becoming causing havoc, pain, calamity, disastrous, pain, atrocity in the nation, you say this person, you forgiving that person without facing any trial. How can that possibly be? How can that bring a better Nigeria? How can that bring a peaceful Nigeria? How can that build a developed Nigeria? How can that build a sane Nigeria? How can that bring how can that bring a better Nigeria? Tell me. There must continue to be, attention must continue, because nothing will fall in place, because you are miss the bad egg. You are missed the bad egg. So my reason number one, why it's not good to claim that you've forgiven those that are unalive and innocent in the nation. The reason number one is the character. They grew up with it. They adopted these people from their childhood and developed them with the mentality to take the lives of the innocent. So reason number one, it starts from the childhood, their upbringing. That is how they are being brought up by the wrong environment. Reasons number two is this. It is character form from the very early life of a man. It's not what he suddenly just jump. When somebody have grown up, you introduce anything, it happens to be in a bad environment, happens to find himself in a bad environment. So, but when this person that grew up with a mentality like this, like to unalive the innocent, that is a character. No prayer can do that. It's a character, it cannot change. So, two, it become character is a part of a man, is a part of a woman from the early life of that man or that woman. The reason number three, character cannot change is this. That character has become the part of that person's identity. Part of his identity is part of, that is the part of how God created that person to be, how God structured that person while he was in the mother's womb. So it's like that character now adapted, now glue with the way God created him to be. So he grew up with it. So it's not a habit. So he now replace what God actually wanted to be in life before. In that character now, so that if it is a negative character, he automatically replaced the good one. So there's no how he can change. He grew up with it. Then the reason number four why character cannot change is this. Character is what people feel. This is who I am. So if you like, you carry and go Jakfachan, you carry and go Jafachan, you carry and go anywhere you take that person. That is, he have already believed this is who I am. He have already believed that this is me. So nothing can take that thing away, that character away. So character is a is what somebody repeated over many years of his or her life. Over many years of his or her life, that is character. So you cannot possibly just enter one tenor or two second tenor and say, I'm forgiving what somebody have lived with for many years. What somebody have been repeat, the character he have been repeated, he have been repeating, this character have been repeated several years in that person's life. You cannot possibly just enter one offices, occupy one office and say now, I'm forgiving all the terror in the, all the Baba people in the land, those are unalive. The innocent, I'm forgiving them, I'm rehabilitating them, I'm giving them amnesty, and so they can join the Nigerian army. That is why you are seeing the Nigerian army. You see how they are unaliving the innocent armies. These are the army that's supposed to be protecting the lives of the citizens. That's supposed to be protecting the nations. So do you see, because of the mistake of one man that never know how it works, that has no clue of how this thing works, that character is different from habit. He just claimed that he can rehabilitate them, they are forgiven, their sins are forgiven. Even now, somebody even an elder, somebody that's supposed to be an elderly spokesman in a nation, open his mouth that hence you enter their political party, your sin is forgiven. So in as much as no matter sin, so they are trying to, what are they trying to do? They are trying to build on the minds of people that you can commit crime and go away with it in a nation. And that is why a nation cannot stand. That is what radical a nation. That is what rotting a nation from the inside. That is what break the nation down. That is what make nation fail, fall, crumble without nobody pushing that nation. So the reason why character cannot change is this. Character, it is what people feel naturally. Is natural. They are naturally, this one is not maybe naturally, not force. They are naturally adopted to that kind of lifestyle. Character, again, it is a influence by family member or by the background he grew up with. Either he just grew up in a toxic family or in a toxic environment that now pollutes and contaminates his way of reasoning. Pollute his chromosome. So character, again, when people, character is when people with character, with this negative character, is what they resist change to their core self. When I explained how this character, with this definition of this character, like for example, I make an example of a pineapple. A core value of a pineapple is what determine if pineapple, is what define the pineapple. So the core value of a human is his character, is a character. So a character is what people resist. Character is that thing that make people to resist a change. Is their character. Resisting changing their core self, their core value that make them who they are. So they resisting that change when it's coming. They fight against change. So it's their character. There's no how you can change it. Okay, madam. Character. Why character cannot change? I believe in another video, it will be coming next. Character don't change. Character don't change. So character don't change. It does not change. Somebody with character that grew up to unalive the innocent citizens, that grew up to kidnap, that grew up, they cannot change. Or go and verify.